All right, so that was Kevin's corner. Hopefully you didn't puke or throw up, which is the same as puke, but that tends to happen twice when you're we understand. So we're gonna get into some sits of the week, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll let Pete start it off at quarterback.
So this one's a no-brainer to me. He had a great year last year, but I think the fairy tale ends. Especially week 1, it ends.
It's a hard matchup.
Yeah, Jordan Love at the Eagles. So I live close to the Eagles Stadium. That is a tough environment. I can hear it from my house. It rumbles, and it's going to be a prime time Friday night game. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Jordan Love to play there.
Yep.
I just think the Eagles defense gets rowdy, and they can really do some damage. And Jordan Love, I'm not the biggest believer in him. And people call me biased because I'm a Vikings fan, but he's no Aaron Rodgers. He's no Brett Favre. He looked good last year, but
so good, man.
I think it's over. I think it's going to be a downgrade year. It has to be a downgrade year, right?
It probably will be a bit of a down. I don't know if he can keep that same high
top
octane.
3, right?
Yeah.
He's top 5, Jordan Love.
5?
Was he?
A lot of drafts. A lot of.
That's crazy.
No, I'm talking about last year. Where did he place?
Where did he finish? He finished.
5.
Was
5.
Was he 5 on the dot? Yeah, he was up there. I know that.
Yeah, there's no way he's doing that again.
Yeah, I don't think that he goes 5, but I think he's still top 10. But I agree with you. Philly is a hard place to go and play, especially when that defense is fresh off season. It's going to be a brutal matchup. I definitely understand the don't start if you can help it. I'm with you on this one for sure.
Yeah, those Philly fans are jerks. I work with a bunch of them, and they will
I hate them.
Taunt you, and they will throw stuff at you and berate you. So
they won the Super Bowl and trashed their own town. That's how
garbage. So sit Jordan Love. It's not a good spot to be in.
For all you Eagles fans out there, I want to apologize, but then again, I really don't. So
no, screw Eagles. Sorry,
from
not
Jersey.
sorry.
We're from Jersey over here.
Eagles flying my ass. All right, Eric, what do you got at quarterback?
Well, this
one hurts your soul. This one hurts your soul. I forgot.
I really like the quarterback. I even got him early in Dynasty when we first started our draft. I really liked Justin Herbert as a player, but this year he's in the worst position possible for himself.
It's so bad.
The coaching staff, they are run heavy. And he's also still questionable and banged up. He's going against the Las Vegas defense as well. They're going to be a rush first offense. It's not going to be great.
Yeah.
He might have boom weeks here and there, but he might be a fade all year. It's upsetting.
There you go.
And I hope that we don't see it all year. I hope that he does have some connections with some of the players eventually, but week 1 against Las Vegas, still banged up. I'm not doing it. You have plantar fasciitis. It's painful, but at the same time, just rub some dirt on it. Please, step it up again. Let's get back to your old way.
I think he's also suffering from a lot of acne because he always has pimples on his face, and he's a terrible quarterback.
That's because he's 12 years old still.
He is a terrible quarterback. His win-loss ratio is below 500. He is a social media quarterback and should not be
That's because
this league.
He's got a pretty face, and his spiral is so sexy, man.
That face ain't pretty. That's only a face a mother could
Don't
love.
tell that to females. He's got
those pimples?
Surfer boy. Yeah, well,
nasty.
I'm telling you. For me, it's the ball. If you look at that ball, if you close your eyes and don't look at who threw it, and look at that ball flying through the air, oh my God.
I know a guy down the street, a bum, that could throw a great spiral too, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how far. He can't win games.
Well, he ain't going to win much this year.
That's another thing where, they have to set him up for success, and they're not. They took away all his weapons.
What do you mean?
Every weapon.
He couldn't win games with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler in his prime.
Yeah, because
he couldn't
was
win.
Getting smacked. He was getting smacked and murdered. He was playing on rib injuries, for God's sakes.
I'm in the middle here because I'm not as bad as Pete, but I don't love him as much as you, Eric. But to his defense, especially last year, if Keenan wasn't hurt, Williams was hurt. If Williams wasn't hurt, Keenan was hurt. If both of them are healthy, Eckler was hurt.
Herbert's hurt. Or Herbert's hurt.
Or Herbert's hurt himself. It was brutal.
It was a disaster.
How many excuses does this guy get?
A few more.
Tired of
It's
it.
a
I
few
think
more.
he's a bust all year. I think if you have him in
He's a bust this
Dynasty,
year for sure.
you sell him.
He probably will.
He might not be a starter in 2 years. I think he might not be a starter. Sell him. Sell him. And bench him this week, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Don't play him this week.
Yep.
Bench him. for
100%
sure.
don't play him this week.
I wouldn't
So-
even roster him
Harbaugh is
into-
also a huge running coach. He's going to run the ball. Run. So,
if you're-
and he's
if you're
got
looking for
Gus
a bench,
Edwards.
If you're looking for a bench quarterback, I would pick a lot of other people over him, unfortunately.
Yeah. I would pick up Caleb and just stash him
100%.
and see what happens.
Oh, he's easy stash. And
So-
Jaden
You know.
Daniels is easy
Yeah.
stash.
So we're good with
He's so accurate.
we're good with no one rostering him in a 12-man league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is crazy because he was
Ooh,
going
that
top
felt good.
4 or 5 last year.
Good.
You feel good? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm happy that Eric agrees.
It's unfortunate. It's
No,
unfortunate.
why is it unfortunate? He didn't earn it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
All right, before you two kill each other, mine's pretty standard unless you're a Jets fan, which if that's the case, I'm sorry for your loss. You don't play Aaron Rodgers against the Niners defense. I don't care how much ayahuasca he does and whatever that darkroom crap. You don't play him against the 49ers defense. Garrett Wilson will be covered. Tyler Conklin, Breece Hall ain't making. I don't think Breece Hall cracks 80 yards this week. That defensive line is disgusting. If Rodgers doesn't get sacked, Breece will make it 2.5 yards. He's gonna have a low average per carry this week. It's just the defense is just disgusting. My whole entire argument to this is the Niners defense is insane and Rodgers is old.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to be fantastic. I don't think he's the Jets' saving grace. They might make the playoffs, but that's just because the Bills are sucky. The Patriots are gone. And the Dolphins choke. So maybe they make the playoffs. Which to a Jets fan is massive because what's it been now, 11 years?
It's like, I think the longest streak in, American sports history or something.
It's ridiculous.
Some crazy
It was
stat.
2012, I think. So it might be 12 years.
Yeah, some crazy stat. Yeah.
It's
I think
ridiculous.
they're definitely making the playoffs with Rodgers. I mean, I know you guys think I'm biased, but at the same time, when Rodgers has a good defense, his team almost always makes the playoffs, and he's really good. His records are really good when he has a good defense. And I know that says something because the other team doesn't score enough points, and Rodgers might be able to pull a lot of points through his team with his weapon of Garrett Wilson. He's bringing Lazard in. Mike Williams, if he's
Lazard
Oh,
was
Lazard-
awful. Lazard needs to
At the same-
retire.
I'm throwing out death pieces here, but
is
I
he on the
Mike
team?
Williams,
it's
I'll
Garrett
give you.
Wilson.
Is Lazard
Garrett
on the
Wilson
team?
and
I don't
Garrett's on
know.
the team.
He might.
I
Is he
don't
still on the
know.
team?
He should
I don't
be on
remember
the
if he's still
team.
on the team.
I know he
shouldn't
signed a
be.
huge deal and didn't play at all last year.
Nah, he shouldn't be.
Neither did Rodgers.
Yeah.
I have a wish
on the
list.
team.
Oh, don't get me started on Aaron Rodgers.
All right, let's move on before more flames.
Aaron Rodgers.
We're not, but we don't get to leave this game because Pete's running back. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
We're
I'm
stuck
gonna
here.
tell you here, Breece Hall, sit him. Oh, you're not gonna sit him, but for
You
daily
can't.
fantasy sports, you do not.
If you have the
Take this
option
guy.
to sit him, do it.
If you have like a
But
James Conner
you
or
took him in
someone
the
else,
first round, you have to. Yeah.
yeah. So Hall, I think is gonna have a great year, but not against this 49er defense. This defense is healthy. It's hungry. This is their window.
This
This is the Niners' window, and it's closing once Purdy says, "I want monies." So you sit Hall here. He, like Jimmy said, he won't get more than 80, 90 yards.
No.
Yeah, it's just a matchup thing. I think the Jets will make the playoffs this year. I think they'll maybe win a playoff game or two. but
They
that's
might
it.
make divisional.
Yep. So you just sit Hall here. I mean, it sucks, but he won't do
You
much.
got to do it. You know, it would make my day. Make my day. Jets make the freaking Super Bowl. The Niners beat them.
That would be a great day.
Make my day.
All
right, Eric.
I have a question about you guys in Hall. If you guys were picking early, first round, and Hall and Bijan were up there, who are you
Bijan.
picking first, Bijan or Hall?
Bijan.
Really?
Yep.
It's
I'm
close.
Up in the air.
It's close.
Very close. But I think that they are really talking up Algier to being a key part in that offense as well. And I think not only is it going to take away from Bijan, but Bijan's still going to produce. But Hall doesn't have that kind of competition to separate his opportunity.
Bijan's just better, dude. And they're very close. I think I had Bijan at 4 and Brees at 6 or something like that. I think Amon-Ra was the only thing in between the two of them. So
it's hard.
They're very close.
Holy.
It's this week especially. It's not though.
No, this week it's not close.
Yeah. But
that's spicy
right.
though, Pete. I like that.
what do you got at running back, Eric?
So me, I'm doing David Montgomery. I think against the Rams, we've already talked about Detroit and Ram game. It's going to be a shootout. Goff and Stafford are just going to be slinging it. And if if Goff is going to be thrown into anybody, it's not going to be Montgomery. It's going to be Gibbs. Gibbs is his receiving back. If Gibbs plays, I think he's definitely going to play. And he's going to get his fair share.
He's good.
And,
he said today
Rams,
in an interview is at 99%.
Good. He's fine. He's going to take that. He's going to take a lot of the workload off. The Rams are tough, but they gave up a lot of points to running backs last year as well. I know it's a new year, but I mean that counts for something. And I think the quarterbacks are going to try to show off, and just dump it off to Gibbs. I think Amon-Ra, Laporta, all the other people will eat, and Montgomery, if they get close to the goal line, maybe he'll shoot it in. But I'm not banking on it. I'm not banking on it this week.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole David Montgomery's being drafted before starters and
Oh my god!
in fantasy. He's
it
being
happened
drafted today, before Ramondre and Chuba starters.
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
So bad. Chuba maybe, but
I think it's because the Lions are such a high-scoring offense, and with Chuba and Stevenson. Look at their team. They're not going to be scoring a lot of points. Doesn't look like.
I get it,
At
but they're still starters.
Their O-line, compared to last year, their O-line did not protect them. And if they're going to be losing a lot of games, they're going to have to be throwing a lot of games, throwing a lot during the games.
But the starter attribute weighs way more than being a better player on a better team.
Touches and volume.
The volume is
really
more
what it comes
important.
down to.
So what about A-Chain and Mostert? It's the same thing too, you know?
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, but they put up a lot of points.
Yeah, they put up 70.
The Lions.
Not 70 in the game though.
It's not the same. I don't know. I
kind of see. I see where you're coming from, but you draft Ramondre over Montgomery. I don't care. You just do it.
All right. Well.
Yep.
Mine is I don't think controversial at all, but I also think he's done.
It's controversial.
It is not. This week against the Browns, you sit Zeke. You do not play Zeke this week. He is
okay.
Especially
against the Browns, yes.
I think this whole season he's shot. I think Rico takes this job from him halfway through the season.
I have some stats for you after you go on your rant. Go for it.
All right. Point being, Zeke's turning into Fat Lenny. Zeke is now officially where Leonard Fournette was when Tom Brady retired. Slow, old, maybe punch it through the gut, but then he's going to have to go sit because he can't breathe. You know? He's just... We can argue about the season, but this week you do not play him. That Browns defense is disgusting. Myles Garrett's going to destroy him. I can picture what the 49ers did to him. Well, not really, actually. What the Cowboys did to him as his last play as a Cowboy. Just leave him out there to die.
Yeah,
that's essentially what's going to happen this week. He's just going to get cream pied. So go ahead, stat me up.
Rico Dowdle's the one. He's going to be.
I think he's going to take it.
Running back who's going to take the job. I have a lot of faith in Rico Dowdle. A lot of faith.
Good. All right.
Okay.
All right. Hit me with your math.
So Zeke took over the backfield for the Patriots last year. I remember he was number 37. He He took over for Ramondre, and this is how he
He's
did.
almost 37.
Yeah. Chargers, 10 point. This is regular fantasy, half PPR. Week 13, Chargers, 10.2. Week 14, at Pittsburgh, 23.5. He was running back 1 that week. Okay. Week 15, 7. Bad week.
Bad week.
Week 16, 16.5. Week 17, 11. Week 18, 10. So, where is this slander coming from?
Because it's coming from the fact that the Patriots had no other options last year.
That doesn't make sense.
It does.
They had
Dak,
Stevenson.
He was injured.
Stevenson was hurt.
Stevenson was injured.
That's why you got the volume.
Hurt,
right.
That's why he got the volume.
But he's going to a better team with more weapons. That'll open up the lane for him more.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
It's
He's
not
going
the
to a
problem.
better team with more weapons. They're going to throw the ball.
They ain't going to start Rico. Rico Daddle's not going to.
Rico's going to be the middle of the field. Rico will be the middle of the field, and Ferguson is going to take all the red zone.
There's no reason Zeke should not be drafted in any league.
I didn't say he shouldn't be drafted.
Well, I mean, I'm just
He should
saying.
be drafted in the 10th, 11th.
If you need to start a running back in a pinch,
We can go right back to the same question: Monty or Zeke?
Oh, Zeke.
Oh,
No.
oh.
No.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I'm doing it.
All right.
Oh my God.
I think there's
no.
something to be said for the history
Oh,
of the Cowboys and Zeke.
The history of the
By the
Cowboys
way,
is crap.
Well,
No, it's not.
How
It's
we were
great.
talking about points per game. Remember how we
Past
were
20
talking about the
years.
most points per game last year?
Sure.
The Dolphins, they had 496 total points last year. The Lions had 461, which is only 30 less than the Dolphins. But the Cowboys did have 509. But I think a lot of those are not going to go to Zeke.
We'll see. Who was the Cowboys? I'm blanking. The Cowboys running
What?
back. Who was it?
How far back?
Last year.
Pollard?
Pollard.
It was Pollard.
Yeah, it's Tony.
Yeah. By
That
the
was
way,
his
was
Rico
terrible.
He was bad. He's a bad.
So I think-
he's the Alexander Madison of the Cowboys.
So the Cowboys got burned. Oh, we miss you, Zeke. They bring him back because Pollard sucked eggs, and Pollard's gonna suck again on the Titans.
Oh God! All right,
That's
let's
my
move
case.
on to wide receiver. We
Yeah.
gotta. What do you got?
So this one's straightforward. Malik Neighbors versus the Vikings. You sit Malik Neighbors for a multitude of reasons.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones being the biggest one. Daniel Jones sucks. Shouldn't be a starting quarterback. The Giants just, have too much pride. Oh, we paid this guy so much money, we gotta start him. So he's gonna suck, and Neighbors is gonna suffer. Neighbors is a great talent, but with Daniel Jones throwing to him, he will be a nothing burger. You're going against the Vikings, who just signed Stephon Gilmore, who's a stud lockdown cornerback, and Brian Flores is a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He will blitz, and when Daniel Jones gets blitzed, he panics and throws pick sixes.
He throws it directly to the other team.
So that was short, that was sweet. No brainer. You sit Neighbors.
Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna. I got nothing. I agree. Daniel Jones is the issue, and until they fix it, now here's where I think we mentioned this the other day. What if the Giants just stick with Daniel for 2-3 years? We got to see how this plays out, and they go after Archie.
I don't
Be
think
smart.
I don't think they can take another 2 or 3 more years of this.
They might, dude, for
They already paid him for it, no?
for another Manning.
No, this is his last year that they have to have
Oh,
him.
it
I
is?
think. And I know Giants fans are getting sick of it. We know a lot of them.
Oh my
and
God,
either they're in
annoying.
denial or they're in depression.
I don't know what's worse, man. I really don't know what's worse. I can't stand NFC East fans at this point. There are no Redskins fans, but the other three, Eagles fans, too aggressive, really annoying. Giants fans, whiny crybabies.
God, yeah.
Cowboys fans, there's a whole nother section of the world for them. So, guys, I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm starting to hate Giants fans more just because they're delusional
Yeah.
at this point.
We
Some
won
of
2
them.
Super Bowls. We should
Yeah.
be good still.
Yeah, I just don't like
Yeah,
it.
they literally all they did was talk shit about Eli when they were winning, And now Eli's gone, and they're, oh, God, we have nobody.
Yep.
All right, Eric, what do you got at wide receiver?
So, I changed mine up a little bit. I'm torn between not starting Jaden Reed, but he does play in the slot against the Eagles. Like you guys said, the Eagles defense is good, but they weren't good against slot receivers last year. And that's why now I'm changing it up. I think we're going to sit Watson. If you drafted him late or Dobbs late, you're going to sit those other wide receivers and you're going to start Reed, because the slot position against the Eagles was fruitful. I think I just read before that they managed to surpass the Commanders as the worst pass defense in the NFL against the slot, and that's interesting. And I think it's a weird matchup, and I would sit Watson and Dobbs, because I don't think they're going to be good against that defense other than the slot receiver on that team. Like you said, you don't like Jordan Love, but I know he has, a lot of weapons there, and I don't trust a lot of them this week, especially Dobbs and especially Watson. And Watson, when he was healthy, he produced last year. He did really well last year, but I just don't see it this week.
Yeah. No, I think it really just comes down to you really don't want to start Green Bay almost at all this week if you can help it.
So what's going on in Green Bay? Is it Watson or Reed? Who's the number one?
We don't
as far as
yet. I think
they say, they're saying it's Watson. If you watch any games from last year, it looked more like Reed.
Yep.
So it's one
Watson
of
had
those
this thing.
you don't know.
He had this thing where one leg was longer than the other or shorter than the other, and there was something going on with that. I think it's going to be up in the air to see what's going on with the receivers.
So it's definitely Reed's job then, because he's got two of the same length legs.
Yeah, I mean that's
That makes sense. All right. Mine, I don't. This is another one. I don't think it's controversial, but I think you guys are gonna fight me. I think you sit Zay. I don't.
No fighting here.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you. Well, Pete loves Zay, but his matchup is crap.
Yep.
The Chiefs' defense is good. Lamar has multiple weapons to go to, and I think Zay is kind of towards the bottom of that list now. He's gonna run the ball himself. He's got Derrick Henry to run the ball. He's got his boy, Marky Mark. I think Zay falls to a fourth read on every play now. And it's against a good defense. So it's just not the matchup. There's going to be games where he definitely takes off, but this is not one of them whatsoever.
Yep. I agree. Primetime Chiefs are a different animal.
Yeah.
They have L'Jarius Sneed, who's definitely a top 5 cornerback, lockdown cornerback, stud. And you just don't go against Andy Reid willy-nilly. I think that Zay Flower gets shut down here.
Good.
Love him.
I love Andy Reid. I really do. I hate the Chiefs, but that's more personal issues that I have.
Don't bet against.
You got smacked by him twice in the Super Bowl.
No, last year we got smacked. Last year we got smacked by Jesus. Dude, fucking Greenlaw tears an ACL walking onto the field.
I saw that. Yep.
A punt bounces off the foot of a Niner to cause it to be a fumble, which is where they score. And almost every point that the Chiefs scored was against Dre Greenlaw's backup.
Yep.
We were winning that game. It was over. That ACL thing just totally changed the entire. We got to move on. I'm gonna get it.
Yep, move on. Yep, you're good. Right. It's okay.
Tight ends.
If you need to talk about it, I'm here for you.
I've been talking about it for 6 months.
Yeah,
so tight weekend ahead of us, boys. We got a lot of talking.
That's what I need. I need new football to get past that.
So tight ends, I'm sitting Mandrews this week. He's been missing a lot of practice. It's his first game back from injury. And he got into a car accident, a pretty significant one in the offseason.
Yeah.
So we're not sure how he's going to play this year. Again, Ravens crumbled against the Chiefs in primetime last year, and I expect them to do it again. You sit Mandrews. There are other options out there. Ingram, you name it. Schultz, Ferguson.
Yeah.
I think Mandrews has a bad
If you can
first
afford
game.
to do it, I would do it.
Yep.
Like if you are in a league and you're playing a team this week that you kind of have a clear cut win over, and you can afford to do that, definitely do it. But usually, if you drafted Mark Andrews, you're stuck.
Yep.
But I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from for sure.
Yep.
All right, Eric.
So, I am gonna sit Brock Bowers. A lot of people want to draft him early. Not too early, but they have him as a top tight end, some people. But I don't buy it just yet. He was a blocking tight end. He's going to be a great blocking tight end. I think one of the big things with him too is that his foot, he was just hurt recently. So when you're hurt and then you're going into it, and we don't know how you're going to play. We haven't seen you play yet in the NFL. You might be blocking for them. I just think against the Chargers, they're going to be safe with him. They're going to take it slow, and he's going to be blocking. I don't think he's going to get a lot of points this week.
No, the Raiders didn't even plan to take him. It was one of those situations where they had no intention of taking him because they didn't think he would get there. And then when he did, they were like, oh, well, crap. Because we have to take, it's one of those value things. You just take the best player available. And he had a lot of hype going into that draft. So
a lot of hype.
And poor Nick Mayer is like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell? You just drafted me last year. It was first round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For tight ends, back-to-back first-round picks in consecutive years. Oh, that's insane. The Raiders are just.
I think one of them is going to be a blocking. We have to see how they.
We'll see how separate. Not every tight end can block. You know what I mean? Not every tight end can block.
The Raiders are an enigma. That's all I'm going to say.
There's something. All right. Last sit of the day is kind of a personal one, but it's also not. You need to sit Dallas Goedert against the Packers. And here's why. The Eagles have too many other good options. They now have Barkley. And they're not going to need him like they did back in the day. Like a few years ago, he was a fantastic pickup. But now the Eagles are more stacked. AJ's going to go off. Devonta's going to go off. Jalen Hurts is still Jalen Hurts. I know I said before that he's not going to have as many touchdowns, but that's season long. That's not this game. He's still going to have a good game.
Yep.
And Barkley being there is a big, big, big deal. People forget how good he is.
Agreed.
And it's a combination of his injuries and the fact that the Giants are that bad. So Barkley on a good team, we haven't seen Barkley on a good team in 4 years.
Yep, it's been a while.
So I think people are underestimating how good Barkley can be, how much that's going to affect Dallas Goedert. Also, there's no reason you should be taking Dallas Goedert in the 6th round of any draft ever, period. End of story.
Oh, yeah. I feel.
It's hard to sit him.
Is it hard? I don't know.
So soft right now.
Are you going to go on the waiver wire and get someone else instead? It's hard.
If you picked up Goddard, you can go pick up Freiermuth and play him, and I'd be happier with that this week. But you're splitting hairs of a very ugly thing. All right, well, that's our starts and our sits. So let's get into Eric's first segment of his own, Eric's hot takes. Let's see what this does to my stomach.
Let's go.
Thanks for watching the Banter Blitz Podcast. Tune in next week for more nonsense.